this is much better.
Yes, it's way cooler.
Yes, so continue this crazy story.
So she was upset because he left and there was no traces of him by the time she woke up.
Good for her.
So
Good for her.
I just can't feel bad for her anymore because I feel like every time we go out, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
So come on, like, you know, you can't continue to have casual sex over and over with random people that you meet.
That's like more than casual though. Like, I don't even know. Casual sex to me is like friends and benefits.
It's more like a one night stand.
Right.
Yeah, it is. It's more like a one night stand.
Right, that too, because I'm sure he ain't hitting her back up. If he bounced in the middle of the night, like, do you even close your doors? Like, you know?
Crazy.
But I mean,
I
don't have an issue with one night stand. I have an issue with people who have one night stands and then they have a problem with it afterward.
Right.
They're emotional way
you
more.
can't be mad because you chose.
Oh no, you cannot tie emotions into no casual sex, no one night stand, none of that. No.
I think you have to know yourself. I could never do it.
Exactly.
Any form of casual sex, like I wouldn't be able to. So I don't even go near it. And I have friends who can do it. You know, people think girls can't have one night stands, but they sure can.
It depends on the person. If you're mature enough to handle it and you could cut all ties and you know, walk away, get what you get, then that's it. Then that's good for you.
It's like sex is more about passion. Like I need to be intimate with a person to experience that. So one night stands, not for me.
Nah,
I say that too. I say that
not
too.
that I could do it.
I wouldn't knock anyone. I wouldn't knock anyone who does it. You know what I mean? Because I mean, if it's for you and it works for you exactly, then by all means do you, boo boo. You know what I mean? If it works for you, that's fine. But don't tie no emotions in there and then expect him to call you the next day.
Don't be mad.
Because emotionally, that's a lot. To feel used, to feel unloved, to want more and then not get more.
You turning around and like,
I'm like,
hold
on, nobody's there.
Right. I mean, I don't know. Is she hoping?
I don't know what she's doing, but I'm tired of the conversations. I'm tired of trying to console her every time. So yeah, it's a wrap. Like
send her on a date, like set her up with somebody, but then she'll probably have sex with them.
Right.
On the first
On
date.
the first be the same thing.
Well, it's kind of
same
because she's trying to fill a void. When you go into something like that, trying to fill a void, you set expectations that this person is not willing to meet.
I would never judge a woman for a one night stand for anything sexually because I feel like her body is hers.
Right, and I feel like if you can handle it, then fine. It's completely fine.
But a lot of people can't handle it. They think they can. And then once they get that good stuff, they don't lose.
They want some
They
more, right?
They don't know what to do with themselves.
That is so true.
I have friends who can and friends who can't, and I get so annoyed with the ones who cannot, and they keep doing it, and then they call me and they say, "Do you think my number is too high?" Like,
my numbers are too high.
Horrible.
Oh Lord, I haven't heard anybody like count bodies or whatever in a
like
long
women
time.
Bodies.
Oh yeah,
they
people
do.
still ask that.
Ask
that question.
I think
they do. I think it's people who are struggling between being the innocent or being like more virginal, but then they have that desire to have sex and they're not in a relationship, so they're struggling with trying to straddle that line. So they're doing it because they want it, but then they feel bad.
The emotional bit of it.
Because of how many numbers they have.
Because it's adding up, It's those moments of pleasure. They last longer emotionally.
If you can handle it, do you. By all means. You know what I mean? But if you can't, stay away from it.
Well, there are different levels to casual sex too, like you just kind of have to pick your pick. Maybe a one night stand doesn't work for you, but something else might.
Because the casual, like we said, is the more friends with benefits. So that means that you might see the person again. You guys will continue to please
like
each
you
other.
come to an agreement. Like this is what we're gonna do. When
we have needs.
Call me.
Ding, 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 ding.
Booty call.
Right. For some guys, it's a turn off. It might be a turn off.
It might be. It might not. Like I guess it depends. Because some relationships might start
if she has sex with him, like on the first date.
I don't think it's always turn it off. I don't think it's always like a turn off for the guy.
It's
I
not
think
always.
sometimes in those areas, guys think more maturely than we do. We're worried about, oh my gosh, am I gonna look like a hoe? When
because
he's
of
like,
the double
you're a grown
standards.
woman. If you want to do it, do it. I have a friend that I'm gonna text him. I think he's in the area. That he will add some real good.
It'll be nice to get some male perspective.
Definitely on this.
But what I was gonna say too is you need to talk to your male friends. Like I have a brother. Talk to your boyfriend. They probably wouldn't tell you stories. My brother and I are really close. Your boyfriend probably wouldn't tell you stories, but you get it from guys, and you would be shocked. by the stories and the things that women do. Like, you might be surprised because maybe your group of friends, you know, y'all don't do certain things, but you need to ask the men because
I know some women that can go out and have sex and do whatever, no strings, completely no strings attached.
Definitely.
But like, if the dude is still in your bed at 7, like, yo, what are you doing, homie? Like, why are you still here? Like, you want breakfast? What? Bye. I already got what I wanted.
I respect it. I honestly do. I respect women who can take charge of their sexuality, be like, this is me, this is my need, I want it, and I don't care what society says, I don't care what you think, I'm going to get what I need, I'm going to keep it moving. I respect that. But then when you're emotionally attached, and I feel for you, because that's difficult.
It's dangerous
to deal with.
That's setting yourself up.
It's setting yourself up, and it's just, but do you guys think that, because I kind of think one night stand and sex on the first date is slightly different.
Well, it is different. Yeah, if you're dating, then you will see each other again.
Because one night stand is kind of like, you know, you're in the club and you meet this person.
Right. You didn't even exchange numbers or nothing.
But a date is more, you know, formal. I'm talking to you. I'm getting to know you a little bit.
I'm trying.
At least you know the person's number. You probably know where they live. I mean, you know something. You know a bit more about them.
So you probably should do that with Lisa.
Set up on a
date. Dating is overrated.
Lisa needs a friend with benefits.
She needs to get her life first.
She needs to get her life together
before she involves any other person.
I think just making sure that you are comfortable with what you're doing, knowing that I'm doing this and this can be, you know, the consequences of my behavior. She needs to understand that this is what it is, you know, and expect.
Because she's not going to be ready to date, even though I think dating is overrated nowadays. But she's not going to be ready to date and give her time. Quality time and be fair to the person that she's dating if she doesn't have her own mind right, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So she might, you know, send mixed signals and it'll be too messy.
But do you guys think it might just be that she wants to have sex and she doesn't have somebody to have sex with? So maybe a situation where she has this one person that she has sex with might work for her?
Yeah. I mean, okay, so she's in the club.
I mean, of course
she gets horny or whatever, right? You in the club, you grinding and you bumping and you know you feeling the vibes and all that stuff. So she's feeling special. Homeboy's with her all night, hugs up on her, buying her drinks.
He know what he's doing.
This is like her man for the night.
Yeah,
he knows.
So you know she's in the vibes and she's in the mood and everything. She feels like this is her boo. Like he belongs to her. They walk out together. Of course, I'm assuming. So she's feeling.
But that's what guys do. They do that. They set up this whole mini life
drinks
style, you know what I mean?
They come over and they have to like hold you here,
and then they're done.
Yeah.
So my friend Chris, he texted me back. He said, he's coming. He's not far. He's been in the park for a little while.
Okay.
So.
What I never understand are those friends with benefit situations where you do everything together. You're pretty much boyfriend, girlfriend. You go out together. You have sex, obviously.
Right.
But they wouldn't put a title on it. I feel like they're kind of holding out a bit. I think people in New York generally have that mentality.
Just scared of commitment. Like they're scared to put that title on it.
Like
you want to make sure that it's right before you put that title. So I think that's what that is. Because before me and my boyfriend officially got together, we dated for like 2 years. And
that's a long time.
Yeah, but I was like afraid of the title. Oh, okay. You know, I didn't want that title on there. I felt like I wasn't ready for the title, and he wasn't either. Okay. And then when we felt that it was right,
that you're able to admit it, because a lot of people just rush and
no,
they
want.
I feel like that's
they don't want a good relationship,
and they worry about what everybody else has to say. But my friend is here.
No. Oh, he's here.
He's here. Good.
Yes, Lord. Let's get a real perspective. Oh, hey. Hi, Stephanie's friend.
Hi.
Let me move over.
Join us, Chris. Don't be scared.
Kizzi, Marisa, and Noreen.
Nice to meet you.
And
you ready for us?
You ready for us? You sure?
Yeah.
You came just in the nick of the time. I'm glad you were here.
What were y'all talking about?
We were talking about our homegirl. Well, it started with our homegirl, right?
We talk about sex.
Yes, sex. So pretty much her story is she goes out, she meets guys at clubs, she brings them back home, in a nutshell, have sex, they leave within half an hour, her falling asleep. She doesn't even know they're leaving. She gets up, pissed off, calls one of us, crying.
She better not call me.
But this is a constant thing, right? It happens all the time.
What are your views?
What you think about that as a dude?
Well, casual sex is supposed to be something that's fun and enjoyable. It's something that is supposed to be emotionally detached.
Right.
So she's attaching her emotions and she's doing it wrong.
Exactly.
You know? So I just think in a nutshell, she has an incorrect perception of her romantic life.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Her abilities.
Yeah.
To
Right.
Yeah.
But there's nothing wrong with casual sex. Casual sex
Absolutely
is
not.
a normal adult behavior.
So define casual sex from a male perspective.
Well, it's having sex with someone just for the sole purpose of enjoying them sexually.
Right.
Right.
That's just the only reason why you should be doing it.
And both parties must agree, obviously.
Right. Sex is not love. And love is not sex. They're very separate, but when they're together, it's a beautiful thing.
But some people can't separate the emotional. Sex for me is definitely emotional.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, so I
So
I
casual
understand.
sex wouldn't be good
Oh,
for you.
it does not work for me. I never tried it. I wouldn't. It wouldn't.
I was
work
going to say,
for
you
me.
speak from experience.
Oh, hell
She's like, oh no.
Definitely not.
Well,
I know myself.
It's worked for me, and also an emotional connection sexually. Well, no, because
Some guys it doesn't
some
though.
guys-
Some
yeah,
guys
some
are
guys
very
don't.
choosy.
Yeah.
Some guys
but-
could have sex with a woman and automatically you're my wife. You know? So
Right.
it
Let
just
me
depends.
meet
Yeah,
these guys.
I've
Wait,
experienced
what do you
that.
mean?
Boy,
So they would
bye.
have sex with
Yes.
a woman the first time and they would know that this is their wife. That's what
They
you mean?
feel like it. I've
Like they catch
experienced that.
feelings.
Some
Like
men,
they catch
some men
feelings,
are
yeah.
more compelled to committing to a woman.
That's
Just as much as a female.
Can we say a few?
No,
Instead
I
of
mean,
some. Well, some is
it's
a
no,
few.
it's no, you
Feels
know,
of some.
no
You-
bare
number.
statistic about it. But at the end of the day, you'll run into some men that's more driven to commit rather than just have
That's true.
sex.
And I've experienced
Yeah.
that. Yeah. So I
That's both
Yeah,
sexes.
I
I feel like
agree.
I'm definitely more of a relationship person
type of person.
than-
Yeah.
I'm not. I don't know if I'm a relationship person, but I'm not. I don't know. I just cut it out.
I'm definitely.
But I never.
a
I'm
relationship
usually
person.
more single than I am in a relationship. But I don't.
Then why do you
I
think
don't
that
do.
is? Are you afraid of commitment?
No, I'm not.
I'm just asking because
No.
men fall into the category of people that are afraid of committing
And always
women
single.
aren't. Right.
I think I keep myself very busy. I'm always like involved if it's school or anything else. Like I'm always involved, super busy.
So that's good. That's a good reason for you. But if a man say that, it's BS.
No, it's not BS. I'm totally fine with men. My problem with men is when they know they can have an idea that the woman is gonna catch feelings and
they
she's
do it
getting
anyway.
attached, and
But
then
they
you
enjoy
act
it.
like
They play
no,
it.
y'all act
They
like
play
they act
with
like
it.
they don't know. They act
They
like
play
they don't.
with it.
They
Enjoy it
don't
because
with
see
they
it.
know if she see them at a party, she gonna be checking them and they look good. I
It's
think
an
they
ego
like it.
booster.
Well,
Yeah,
for me, I've
definitely.
experienced telling a woman completely and honestly in the beginning everything that I can do and everything that I can't do, and she'll still catch me.
Because they think they could change.
Everybody
him.
think they could change.
I'm a
somebody.
change him.
But
Exactly.
He gonna
sometimes
get
I
this
feel like
kitty cat
men
and change.
in those relationships that I consider ambiguous relationships, I think that sometimes you guys feel like being honest is an excuse for being an asshole. Like you feel like I'm just gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna let you know. You know I'm not. But hello, you have somebody else that's getting attached to you, that's having
you have
these
to be
real feelings,
considerate
and
of
then
that.
all you say is, "I told you from the beginning.
Right.
I told you from the beginning."
But
And
isn't it a woman's responsibility that, with his honesty, if you're not handling his honesty well, to confront him and make the adjustments?
Sure. And I blame my girlfriends for that as well. But I just think sometimes the guys that they deal with, they don't pull out when they need to. I think as another human being, feeling
Well, you can't
for
leave it.
another,
I think it's
you
really
need
good.
to.
You
It's
can't-
not just up to the guy.
You
I
can't
would
leave it up
say
to a
that.
man
It's
to
not
pull
just
out of a
because you have a
situation.
responsibility in that
takes two.
situation.
No,
as well.
you do have a responsibility, but I think that if it were me and there was this guy that was really into me and I wasn't trying to have all of that, and he was catching feelings, he was like getting upset with me all the time, he was expecting more from me than I could give, I pull out. It's the same thing if you're doing a job that you think you're not capable of doing and they're expecting more from you than you can actually
But
give.
is
you
that
say
really
you
is that really
gracefully-
realistic? Like if you tell a woman straight off the back that we can have sex, we can hang out, but I'm not looking for anything serious, and she says, neither am I. Neither am I. So you start to notice maybe after a month or two, especially if the sexual connection is real and the sex is good, and she starts to, act differently based on her emotions growing. It's not his responsibility to say, okay, she's catching feelings, let me run. Because he's gonna get ridiculed if you do it that way. He's gonna get ridiculed if he stays. Women have
It is
to.
both people.
I think it's
Right, women have to take the responsibility.
No, yeah,
I have a
themselves.
question. So, if you're out on the first date with a woman, right? And you get it that night, what are you thinking?
Look
After
at
that, what are you
That's
thinking?
a good question because
that was
some guys don't necessarily think how.
Well, first,
they
let me
think.
just say this: I've never had a one night stand.
What?
Okay.
In particular, because having sex, I'm very picky with who I have sex
Which is
with.
good.
Okay.
I've never
That's
had
good.
a one night
Yeah.
stand is having sex with a complete stranger, having sex once, never speaking or seeing them again. I've never done that. But I think
no, because you're actually dating the person, so you're out on a date. It's not necessarily just like picked up at the club.
I think having sex on the first night is actually more common than people think, and more common than people want to admit.
That's what I was saying.
Right.
And it's an adult decision.
I love that.
It's not a whorish decision, because
so you would automatically be like, oh damn, that was mad easy.
Because if every time you had sex on the first date, it totally negates the dynamic of a woman and a man. That's like saying no man is ever worth doing something spontaneous. So at the end of the day, some people make an adult decision to, if we're getting along and it's going good, let's do it.
I agree with that.
And enjoy each other.
See, that's what I was saying. A lot of times we think the guys are thinking, oh, he's going to think I'm this and that. When that's all in our head. They're thinking as mature adults, you want to do it, you do it.
Absolutely.
In my experiences, sometimes waiting is nice because the enchantment lasts longer. But at the end of the day, when it happens, that's when it's usually the right time.
Right. And that's why I hate relationship rules. Like Steve Harvey's, I hate that.
Oh,
but you know, like
what is it? The 90 days.
90 days.
I don't like him.
Yes,
because he's very biased as well, because he has his
perception.
He has his old Southern old man mentality.
Oh yeah.
And no one told you you're a sociologist.
Exactly.
Like, I don't like his opinions at all. And it doesn't work, especially
not for everybody.
For young
Yeah.
people, especially if you're Caribbean or if you're from another culture, ethnicity.
Right.
I just think in general, human beings, we're very different and we're versatile. And I hate when people try to put us in a box. Like there's no one box that can fit everyone. So it has to be an individual, personal decision.
Right. Sex is something that is on our minds all the time. People don't want to admit that. Sex is still very taboo, especially in America. It's something that we crave, and we're constantly, unconsciously, we're doing. The way y'all wear y'all clothes, the way y'all wear y'all hair, everything is driven to attract a mate. And it's something that we have to be able to be mature enough to handle, you know?
Attract or keep, because if you have a boyfriend, you better keep yourself up.
Exactly.
Or else you're going to lose him.
And so, as far as sex, what else were the concerns? I mean...
Well, that was.
I wanted to know what you felt about like dating, because I think dating is like overrated now. You know, because everybody puts these things that he has to pay and this, that, and the third, and all the traditions is getting all mixed up with, you know, the individuality. So, like, what do you think about dating now, 2014?
Well, because of